What's good, YouTube? This is Keep It Gank TV, back at you with another exclusive. Today, we will be discussing how you can overcome your insecurities and get the things that you really want. So, the reason I made this video is because, as a guy, I know that I myself, like many other people, have insecurities, whether it may be fear of speaking out loud, fear of rejection, or whatever the case may be. But recently, after being in quarantine for about 2 weeks and starting over fresh and brand new, I noticed that a lot of the fears that I previously had or insecurities that I previously had, I think mostly from growing up in a house full of women, 3 women, and I'm just the only guy that was in the house or whatnot. I've noticed that sometimes you just have to go for it. A lot of times people talk themselves out of doing things because they're afraid of rejection or failure per se. So I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm a very attractive guy. However, even though most people would consider me attractive, sometimes I was a little shy when it came to women. However, when I came here or whatever, I had a different mindset in hand. I went on this spree where if I saw a woman and she looked great, I said, let me talk to her. I mean, like these were like some of the most beautiful women ever. And what I noticed was, and like a lot of people tell you this, you miss all the shots that you don't take. And what's the worst that a woman can say to you? No, or you're not interested, or they have a boyfriend. So with that being said, you just have to throw yourself out there. And a few of the women that I talked to, ridiculously beautiful, ridiculous. And I went over there and talked to them like they're regular human beings. And believe it or not, I think they were really feeling me. However, since then, like I've gotten in a relationship and had to stop talking to a lot of the women that I forced myself, well, not really forced myself into because I feel like these women were choosing too. So yeah, I had to let myself go out of that. Like recently, the other day, I was out with my homeboys and this chick was like, hey, ridiculously feminine, I guess, somewhat like she's, picking the homie. And my homeboys was like, whoa, that wasn't like a regular hey, that's like a hey, like she's flirting with you, like, oh, she wants you to holler at her or whatever. And so how I met her was we were like both in the office and I was like, man, she's really cute. Let me talk to her. Let me see where this goes. And so I went over there, started talking to her, asked her where she's from, where has she been, when is she leaving, different little things like that to try to feel her out. And a lot of times I think that's what women really want. And most of the time, women aren't really the aggressive type to really approach you. And so I feel like she really appreciated that because there were most likely a lot of guys that probably are interested in her or like she probably flirted with and they didn't take the hook or whatnot. And so a guy like me just going over straight over to her and treating her like she's just a regular person, asking her these questions, and she probably knew like, oh, this guy, he's definitely trying to get in. But I did what I had to, man. And that's the take that you have to take with a lot of women because even like with the most prettiest women, like I was dealing with a pretty Caribbean lady. Sexy, not gonna lie. And it was funny because there was like this guy at her job and she would tell me about him. And she basically told me like, yeah, he's a friend or whatever. He would take my car to get like my oil change, or he'll get me like lunch on my lunch break. Really going out the way. And I'm imagining he knew her for a few months. Well, here goes a guy like me. I'm sliding in, and I'm charming her or whatever. And I basically kicked this guy out of the picture. Like at first, I really thought, like, man, this guy's gonna be like some competition. He sounds like he's already in the door, but it's just about having confidence. Never doubt yourself. If you see a pretty lady out there and you say, hey, I really want to talk to her, but she might turn me down, you lost already. But like I said before, the worst she can do is say no and you never see her again. Because realistically, how many times are you really most likely going to see a stranger? And then she tell you no, that's not the end of the world. There's other beautiful women, but it's trial and error. Take that trial and error and see where it goes. It's almost in a sense like riding a bike or whatever. I don't think anybody can just get on the bike right away and are able to fall or ride it straight without falling. You're going to fall. You might bruise yourself, but that's not the end of your life. So if she might reject you, it's not the end of the world. And it's just, you have to get up, be resilient, and know, hey, this might have not been what was in store for me in the universe, but this next chick, you know, this might be it. You have to think about what could go right instead of what can go wrong. And when you look at life at the standpoint of what could go right instead of what could go wrong, you can get the things that you really want out of life. So, this is my perspective on overcoming insecurities and getting the things that you really want. You just really have to go for it. And I hope this video was insightful for you. And if you appreciated this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.